It was suggested I cross-post here. Oh my god, I have one. Never did I think I'd have a story for this sub. Wow, okay. I'm still in a state of rage. So I just got home from good ole Mart of Walls. I knew pretty much what I wanted, so I didn't bother with a cart. Of course, I get distracted and I end up in the kitchen cutlery aisles and I'm idly looking at things and putting them back on the shelves. I guess that made me look like a worker? Dunno how. I am wearing a dress. Whatever. So I am hard of hearing. I wear hearing aids. They're rose gold and awesome, badass tech in my ears. Since I'm shopping, I have no reason to think someone would be needing my attention. But this M was trying to get my attention. I see this woman and she says, finally. I've been chasing you down the aisles. I'm thinking I must have something loose or I dropped something. That she thought I was a worker just did not occur to me. You really shouldn't wear those while you're working. She's out of breath. Her little toddler is babbling away, oblivious. I'm still clueless. Wear what? The AirPods. Fun fact, as someone who is I mishear things and it took me forever to understand what she said. I thought she said their pods. Whose pods? Your pods. What pods? I'm looking down at my dress thinking something had latched onto my dress. As I had my head down, this evil bat lady from hell grabbed my left hearing aid. It's squealing away and protesting and I'm in such a state of shock. My aids are a part of me. I went from baffled to pure rage in a split second. You give that back now. I clawed at my hearing aid and I wrested it back from her. I'm trembling at this point. Don't touch me. M's kid starts crying from the sudden energy change. Look what you did. I was just saying you shouldn't wear those while you're working. I start walking away from her. Get away from me. If you come near me I'll call the police and have you arrested for assault. What? Assault? But. I growled at her. Yes. Growled. And I walked away to find a store manager to tell them they had a customer who just tried to take one of my hearing aids. But then I left. I was too outraged to get back to my lackadaisical meandering. Quick edit, I did speak to a store manager but after, instead of getting what I went there for, I left. Today I was waiting to pick up a to-go order and a t-shirt, Daisy Dukes, flip-flops, and sunglasses on top of my head. Clearly not an employee. This lady walked in and said to me, "Table for 4." I smiled and told her, "I don't work here." "Table for 4," she said to me, a little louder. "I do not work here," I said a little louder, gesturing to the podium behind which the employees stand. She looked at me like it was my fault she wasn't being helped and I just ignored her. It annoyed me because here's white, middle-aged proof that there really are people out there who assume others are simply there to serve them. Also, it was a little disturbing that she was so situationally unaware. Like it happens, we all have sleepy/confusing/exhausting days. But if you go to a restaurant where you see the employees' toes you are actually in a strip club. I was at my neighborhood bullseye named Big Box store and I had made the fatal mistake of wearing a red t-shirt and khaki shorts. My wife and I were shopping for a football for our nephews when a lady comes up and asks if I can help her. I turn to tell her I'm not an employee, just a dummy that wore a red shirt, and I notice it's my favorite comedian Maria Bamford. She laughs and apologizes and I tell her she's my favorite and we've been to see her several times and she's super gracious and asks what we're there shopping for. We chit-chat for a few minutes until her husband yells from a distant aisle that he found what they're looking for. She was super friendly. I was invited to my college roommate Sarah's grad party. Sarah was a theater, dance major. This was in her predominantly white neighborhood, hometown, and I am part Mexican and look Mexican. It was a bit of drive for me, 1.5 hours, and on my way in I give my friend a call. "Hey Ken, I am pretty close, do you guys need anything from the store? Food, drinks, or anything?" "Ken, no, we are all good, just get over here so we can start drinking." I grab a bottle of wine and head over about 10 minutes after the start time. As I arrive, I see my friend is bringing in a sound system from his truck, so naturally I grab a big speaker and walk into the backyard to help set up. As I walk in, it is only white people, Totally fine, just something I notice as I'm trying to find any familiar faces. I set down the speaker on the deck in the backyard, I'm handed a beer and I'm going back out to help with any more equipment. This is when Sarah's mom approaches me, looks just like her. And here we go. Sarah's mom: OMG, where have you been? You are late, we have been waiting for you. My impression: oh, this lady is hilarious, I'm nobody in regards to this party, maybe this is her eccentric way of welcoming her guests. Note: my friend is setting up his sound system out of earshot. Yifate, beer in hand / yeah, I hit a little traffic on the way, but it wasn't too bad. I'm glad I made it. Your backyard is beautiful and the setup looks really nice. Sarah's mom looks concerned and a little upset. Well, did you bring the food? Yifate laughs / I called Ken, he said you didn't need anything? I'd be happy to go back, what can I get? Sarah's mom: did you bring your taco cart? Are you going to make the food in the kitchen? This somewhat strikes a nerve, I'm just trying to help. I'm also thinking, wow, this lady is unabashedly laying into me upon introduction, I respect that. A light racist joke before introduction, that's a bold move. She's hilarious, I'll play along, let's throw some punches. Yifate: geez, sarcastically / my cart is in the shop. Sarah's mom: well, what are you going to do? Yifate: I'm sure I have some cousins close by that can bring theirs and get some tacos going. Maybe some churros y horchata. Shoot, maybe we can even bring in some of those big hats. What do you think? Sips drink and laughs / Sarah's mom is visibly upset and still sticking to this entertaining scenario we've created. This is so unprofessional. How do you show up empty-handed to this party, and just stand there with a beer? Yifate: yeah, how dare I? Takes a sip of the beer and laughs / really should have brought my backup taco cart. Sarah's mom, still not ready to break character, looks more upset. I think to myself / this must be where Sarah gets her theater from / Sarah walks over, finally someone I know. She gives me a big hug, sees her mom's frustration and says, oh, was my mom telling you that the taco cart hasn't come yet? Sarah's mom's jaw about hits the floor. OMG, you are Yifate, Ken's roommate? I am so sorry, I assumed, because you were carrying things in, and ... I'm so embarrassed. I'm cracking up at this point, Sarah is cracking up. Yifate: phew, I'm really a terrible cook, so it's good thing Sarah came along, I was ready to get the food for this party. In fact, hold on, I'll be right back. I return presenting the bottle of wine just to add a little salt, sarcastically / sorry I was so late, and forgot the food, I hope I am still welcome. Or I can just cut grass and head out? She apologized again, and I assured her I was not offended in the slightest and helped to decide what to do about the food, and helped call a few places. They ordered pizza at this point. Turns out the vendor's truck, Pedro's, broke down on the side of the freeway and they were not going to make it. I can't just let a joke go, so I throw in, oh, you guys went with Pedro's, Tia needs to straighten that boy out, he is always late to the family fiestas. I got a few more jabs in throughout the night. Ken got a few good ones in and Sarah's mom played along. She was actually really nice and there were no hard feelings, just under stress because the vendor didn't show up. Sorry for the formatting, I am on my phone and English is my second language, so sorry for grammatical or spelling errors as well. So a little bit of backstory. We live in a 2-story building and on the first floor there are a doctor and beauty salons. The second floor are all flats and we live in the one at the very end of the corridor. On to the story. This happened 10 minutes ago and I am still baffled how someone could mistake my flat for a beauty salon. I am currently on maternity leave with my second child 6 months, so I am home most of the time. I was breastfeeding her and heard footsteps but wasn't thinking much of it as my husband is also at home. But suddenly an elderly lady stood in our living room and just asked, beauty salon? To say I was confused is an understatement. To get where she was, she passed my sleeping son in his stroller and a complete row of bookshelves as well as a few toys on the floor, so in my opinion there is no way that you can confuse our flat for anything else. But the lady looked confused herself and after I explained that she needs to go a floor down, she apologized and made her way out of the flat, but tried to open 2 other doors before finding the right one. By this time my 2 kids were crying, so I didn't went after her, but now I am wondering if I should have, as she seemed pretty confused to me. This is the second time this happened, and I get that it is possible to press the wrong button in an elevator, but normally it isn't hard to differentiate between a beauty salon and a flat door. Edit: for all people that say I should lock the door, I normally do, but my son was sleeping in the stroller outside of the apartment, and so I had it open so I can hear him when he wakes up. That isn't that uncommon here, and it isn't unsafe as we live in a small village and there are not many people around. My workplace is a small boutique-style pet food, self-wash, grooming salon. I'm the groomer. I show up at 8 o'clock for early morning appointments and we open at 10 o'clock. Next door is a General Dollar, and the management must be the worst because they are constantly having issues keeping staff and staying open. When this story took place, last year, the manager wasn't showing up on time, and when I'd come to unlock my shop, I'd see the DG workers waiting outside, especially in the snow, and I started a good rapport with them as I'd let them come into my store and warm up if they needed to while waiting for their perpetually late manager. One morning, I showed up to more than the usual number of people milling around the parking lot. I generally get to work at 7:45. So seeing anyone other than DG workers is unusual. As I was grabbing some equipment from my car, a man said to me, "Oh, they've been waiting for you." This was surprising to me, but not unheard of. Sometimes my early grooming appointments are super early because of work or school drop-offs, which is why I take appointments at that time in the first place. As if to punctuate this idea, I saw a regular and his 2 dogs wandering around a grassy area taking care of business. I greeted my clients, exchanged a typical southern greeting, "Hey girl. How you doing? Oh, it's going. You keepin' warm? I'm trying. Have a good day." You too, with the DG workers I knew by sight, and opened the shop. A few hours later, the owner, my boss, walked into the grooming room with her "I hate people" look on her face. "I got a complaint about you, antisocial." My blood ran cold. Me? What? Why? She shook her head a few times laughing. "You didn't unlock the General Dollar this morning when you unlocked our door." I attempted to reconcile this idea with reality. I failed spectacularly. Huh? This guy called to complain about you. You unlocked our door, but didn't even try to unlock next door. I stared at my boss, fish-mouthing until the dog I was grooming tried to stick his head inside it. That was when my brain caught up with what was happening. Yeah. I didn't unlock the Chinese restaurant on the other side of us either. Guess I'm just slacking today. My boss went on to tell me that she pointed out to the gentleman that I do not work at the General of Dollars, and that my key wouldn't have fit the lock. Apparently the gentleman firmly believed that I should have tried. My boss advised him to call DG to complain, and this was where she lost it and started cracking up, and his response was to say that I worked at the pet shop, not DG, so he was calling her. She said, "Well, I don't know what you think I can do, sir," and hung up. TL, Doctor, a Dollar General customer was upset that I didn't unlock the DG even though I don't work there and don't have a key.